Hey everybody, my name is Dieter Bone from TreoCentral.com, and we're going to present to you today some video clips from the Digital Life Conference last week. We're of course going to start out by showing you some hands-on work with the Trio 680 from Palm, and then we're going to have an interview with the product manager, Phil McClendon, so stick around, it should be a good time. So let's get started with some general stuff. Here it is, the Palm Treo 680, a GSM quad band trio, which means it should work all over the world. In America, it'd be Singular and T-Mobile, although Palm hasn't announced any carrier relationships yet. You're looking at the hand of Michael Ducker holding the red Trio 680. There's also a white, a graphite, and a copper colored one. My personal favorite is the copper. Michael liked the red one. In any case, I want to mention that in the interview was myself and, of course, Michael Ducker and the owner of TreoCentral, Marcus Adolson. We were also very lucky to have Andrew Carton of TreoNauts and Christopher Mink, I'm slaughtering your last name, Christopher, I'm sorry, from Everything Trio. And we got a chance to sit down with Phil McClendon, who's the product manager here. We're just taking a quick look right now at the phone app, which is all new on the Trio 680. We're going to go into a little bit more detail later on the new features of that. Also, in a second here, you're going to see us go to the new application screen, where you'll see that there's a new Google Maps application. There's also a new application to automatically set up wired car kits, which is pretty convenient and a nice little feature. So anyway, I think next up we're going to take a look at the new conference calling features, which besides the phone app is the big new setup on the Trio 680. Let's take a listen.
Group conference. Mute. Extract a call.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that is slick.
And then you're back. Oh, finally.
Now can you hang up on the one that's on hold?
Yeah, that's the the hang up all.
How do I hang? I don't have a hang up button anymore.
Yeah.
But missing is the hang up button. And as a touchscreen feature, for me, I've always used that button. I've never used the hardware hang up button. Is that something that I'm just a weird user for doing? Or
Well, what we tried to do was make this even more like a phone, and many phones leverage the send and the end key, and so that's how we look to differentiate ourselves. Not differentiate ourselves, but improve the experience, I should say. And with a hang up button on the screen too, you have people with large earlobes, earrings, and so forth hanging up their calls. Now they could turn off the touch screen and so forth, but that wasn't necessarily something.
So here's the big new software feature of the Trio 680, the all-new phone app. There's 5 main tabs there, as you can see. The first one is, of course, the wallpaper screen, where you can see recent messages and even recent calendar appointments if you want. And it's pretty nice. You can set up your own custom picture there. The new favorites part of the phone app is much cleaner. It's a single vertical list instead of the wide, horizontal lists as you're seeing here on the 700p. So much easier to configure, much easier to use. Of course, favorites work the same that you'd expect them to. You can organize them in any order that you want. Like the other Palm OS favorites, you can set the shortcuts to go to a speed dial, or to text somebody, or to go to an application, or any of the above, which is I think a big advantage that the Palm OS has over Windows Mobile. Anyway, move on. Here's a dial pad. It's exactly what you'd think a dial pad would be. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now, Contacts is no longer a separate application. It's actually integrated into the phone app, which I think is a really big step forward. It's all this stuff is going to be just part of the phone now. You don't have to think about going into a separate application to find it. They moved the contacts drop list to the upper left there, but otherwise there's not really a whole lot of differences there. Pretty much what you'd expect from a contacts app. And then, of course, the last one is the call log, and you can go through and look at details and so on and so forth. And then one last little software thing we want to note here. If you hold down the home button, it shows you a list of recent apps, which is pretty slick. And we'll give you one last look at the Trio, the SD card slot on the side, just so you can see how that works. And then we're going to move on to our interview with Phil McClendon.